Bob Cafaro here, and welcome to my first Q&A. I've been getting a lot of questions from a lot of people, so I decided that I would do this. The first question is from someone that I actually met on social media some time ago, and this is Alicia Hake of MS Champs in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Alicia's a pretty amazing person, and she actually invited me out to Grand Rapids, where I presented at Mercy Health and met with many of the members of MS Champs. So Alicia and I have become just wonderful friends over the last maybe close to a year or so. And Alicia's question is, what is an example of 3 full days of meals for you? Good question. The first thing that I want to make clear is that I drink half my body weight in ounces of water a day. I weigh 160 pounds. 3 liters is what I consume minimum. If I'm exercising, I increase that. In the morning, I always drink at least 1 liter of water before I have any food. And what I'm doing then is I'm fasting for 12 to 15 hours every day. And it was actually Dr. Walls, when I met her, she told me that was probably one of the major things that I did to contribute to a full recovery, because when you're fasting, she said, the body goes into rebuild and the cells go into reconstruct mode. So I unknowingly was doing that every day, and I continue to do it. So what's my first food of the day then wouldn't be till maybe noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll start with maybe a handful of raw organic sunflower seeds, maybe some dried fruit, maybe some nuts along with that. Again, everything's organic. The nuts I eat are cashews, almonds, pistachios. You know, nuts are really good for you. Let's see, then maybe later on I'll have some fruits, fresh fruits, such as bananas and apples. They're very, very good. Throughout the day, if I need something more substantive, a baked sweet potato is actually very good. I get the big organic sweet potatoes, scrub them, poke them with holes, bake them in the oven for 350 degrees for maybe 2 hours, and then they start to melt and get soft. It's a perfect food, keeps very well. You can take them with you. A lot of what I do is I forage all day long mainly, and I take things with me all the time so I'm not tempted to eat unhealthy food. On the airplane, I always bring my food, so I'm not tempted to eat airline food, you know, those kind of environments. Other foods I'll eat, pasta. People ask, do you eat pasta? I avoid pasta, but I eat spaghetti squash. Much better for you than pasta. Other things I'll eat, other squashes, delicata squash, acorn, butternut, all those are good. Just cut, cleaned, baked in the oven. Just put them upside down in a little bit of water. The other thing, salads. I eat a lot of salads, and you know, Dr. Walls says that, 3 cups a day of leafy vegetables. So I'm sure I do at least that. The one thing I do is watercress. I eat a lot of watercress, fresh watercress. And when I met Dr. Walls in December, I had her eating out of my hand because she loved fresh watercress. So salads with, you know, spring mix, organic spinach, kale, arugula, those kind of things, very good. And with a salad, you can put in sunflower seeds, and for dressings, maybe some sesame oil and fresh lemon. That's all you'd really need. Other foods, I'll eat steamed vegetables. Organic, of course, and with the steamed vegetables, I'll have maybe tofu or tempeh. And let's see, other things, I'll have grains, quinoa or millet and brown rice. Those are all really good grains. So basically, you know, I hope that answers some of Alicia's questions, okay? So thank you for asking. So the next question is actually from a fellow cellist whom I met online. And this is Amanda Gruber. And Amanda's question is, I would like to know what you do during your meditations. I think you had more lower body mobility. I'm trying to get my legs back. So Amanda, MS affects everybody differently. For me, it targeted my hands and my eyes. And the hands were hit so hard, after 8 months, I was unable to write. I could hardly hold a phone. It was just no control over my muscles at all. So what got me started with meditation was actually, I was on the drug Avonex, which is interferon beta, for 4.5 years, and the drug really wasn't doing much for me. But after I was on this drug, I started reading the packet insert about the clinical trial results, and this is what caught my attention. The number of exacerbations, attacks, or flare-ups in subjects that completed the 2-year study. After 2 years, 26 of 87 subjects in the placebo group experienced 1 exacerbation. And again, after 2 years, 26 out of 85 subjects experienced 1 exacerbation. So here you have basically an identical result in the placebo group and the drug group. So what got me thinking was, wait a minute, what's happening here? What's going on? And I came to believe that these people were unknowingly possessing some ability for their mind to make physical changes in the body. So where would you go from there? This is a book that I found very useful, You the Healer, about the Silva method, and it details ways to train the mind through meditation. So what I started doing was repeating commands, and I built up to 30 minutes per day. So for me, I focused on what was basically my targeted areas, which were the hands and the eyes. And I meditated commands that my brain is finding new pathways to the muscles. My brain is learning how to control my hands. My optic nerves are regenerating and my sight is coming back. The MS is going into remission and leaving my body. My body is healing. I will return 100%. The lesions in my brain and spinal cord are going away, and they are literally being vaporized, and there will be no trace of them anymore. So I built up to 2 30-minute sessions a day, and I did this for 2 years. And I didn't just repeat these commands. I also envisioned, I saw a video of these things actually taking place, where the lesions in my brain were vaporizing, they were disappearing. So that was what I did for meditation. And I hope that answers your question, Amanda. Thank you so much for submitting it. So the next question submitted is by Ann Hilly, and again, someone that I became friends with on social media. And Ann's question is, are there any aspects of the Wahls protocol that you choose not to follow? So it's important to look at the chronology of what happened here. My first symptoms of MS were in 1998, December of 98, numbness in one leg. February of 99, optic neuritis in my left eye. And then over an 8-month period, the thing progressed just mercilessly. So I was told that I would be on permanent disability. And at that point, I decided to find my own answers. So one of the books that I worked with, it's important to know that the Wahls protocol, that the version that we know, was not published until 2014. So I didn't know about Dr. Wahls, and I didn't know about the Wahls protocol. I worked from the Swank, the MS Diet book, and I did a lot from my own research about the Okinawa Centenarian study about MS rates around the world, where your very poorest nations have very small rates of MS. Your Asian countries, Japan, very small, low rates of MS. So that was basically how I assembled my diet. And even though Dr. Wahls recommends, grass-fed meat and organs and some animal products, Dr. Wahls is no one to be argued with, because she did the impossible. She reversed a very advanced case of MS, and today she lives a completely normal life, and that's exactly what I did. So I'd like to point out that, let's see, my diet is vegetarian. I live on a plant-based diet. I'm basically vegan, except I eat very small amounts of fish with occasional sushi or wild-caught fish, and I eat an occasional egg. And the reason I do that is because in Japan, they have very, very low rates of MS, and they live on basically a low-calorie fish rice diet. So what I believe more than anything, that excess calories are enemy number one. And there are so many things. If you look at the Okinawa centenarian study, where they studied over 900 people over the age of 100 and in perfect health, these people all lived on a very, very low-calorie diet. And in our all-you-can-eat society, I believe that's one of our major downfalls. This lavish lifestyle with overconsumption. So basically, I try to keep my calories down, and I try to eat very, very good, pure, organic food. And, Dr. Walsh thinks that this is one of the major contributory factors as far as my cells were able to regenerate and rebuild. After 7 years, your entire body will be new. Every cell in your body will be replaced. So you can have some say as far as how those cells are replaced. It's important to understand with a disease like MS, medicine and neurology are limited with how much they can help people. But you are not limited. So don't let anything stop you. Do your own research, look for answers that medicine and neurology have overlooked, and listen to your body. Find out what works for you. Okay? So Annie, I hope that answers your questions. And everyone who submitted questions, thank you. I look forward to receiving more questions for my next Q&A session. Ask me anything, questions and answers. Thank you again.